What's
Oh,
good, Joe?
everything is great. You know, my question to you was, damn it, I can't see. Okay, reason women choose bears because bears don't feel on time. Yeah. Um, what do you think, from your perspective, needs to happen, or is there anything that could happen to where men and women would begin to, but where, well, not necessarily men and women, because women do understand to a large extent. They understand the role that men play in society. But do you think that there will ever be a point where men will, as a collective, begin to respect women for their true value now that women are fully autonomous beings? Or do you think that the way that the red pill content and the way that content is going in general, that we'll never be able to reach that point of understanding?
Yeah, of course I believe that we can. I believe we have to. It's like asking me, do I think that one day white T people can stop being racist and we can overcome racism? Like, of course, I have to believe that. Because if we don't, if we don't do it as a species, we're gonna die out.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you there,
You know
100%.
what I'm saying? Like if we don't overcome racism and we don't overcome misogyny and we don't overcome capitalism, we don't overcome these systems, we are as a species, I guarantee you, humans won't be here. And we'll take and when we go out, we're gonna take a lot of other species out with us because we're gonna destroy a lot of stuff on the way out. So do I believe that it can happen or will happen? I believe in both. I have to. Like I wouldn't even be up here talking about it if I didn't think it would if I didn't think it could happen. What do I think it will take?
Yeah, what does it take? Like I don't know that I ever asked you that question directly because I know we have a lot of, our viewpoints are, absolutely.
Oh, I got that answer.
What do you think from your perspective it would take?
I think that okay, so first and foremost, women are not fully autonomous beings. That's the thing. So we don't know what it's going to look like when women actually do have full autonomy. But I think when women do have full autonomy, that they will. I think that the more autonomy women get, the more men will, I guess, like fall in line, so to speak. And I think that that's really the only way for men to see women as human beings. Like women have to
Here's
be.
the problem with that, though. But Pub, here's the problem with that, bro. All of those systems that you just mentioned that oppress, you know what I'm saying, women and men and other marginalized communities, black people, queer people, so on and so forth, are all inextricably connected to Christianity. We can't abandon that. We can't abandon the rest.
No, you already come on. You know I know. That's my thing, brother. I love it. I know that, but and it's connected to a lot of stuff. Christianity is connected to Islam. It's connected to Judaism. It's connected to Catholicism.
I
It's
should have said Abrahamic religions.
yeah,
Yes, I should have said Abrahamic religions. You're
but
correct.
it's also connected to Hinduism. It's also you know what I'm saying? Like it's not just like all of these religions are extremely misogynistic. All these religions justify inequity. You know what I'm
Public, you
saying?
say that
All
all
of
the
them.
time. Public, you say that all the time, and I
Yeah,
always have I
Buddhism
always have
actually
one.
doesn't. It believes that
I,
gender is neutral and fluid.
Yeah. Buddhism isn't like you know what I'm saying? It ain't like the other ones, but yeah. Go
No,
ahead.
you say that, and I always ask the question, right? Because I separate. I do this deliberately.
Mhm.
How is Jesus of Nazareth misogynistic? How is that historical person misogynistic?
Well, because he's
Because
God.
and
God.
I ask that because, to just be
Yeah.
clear, he is the founder of Christianity. His death on the cross.
Yeah.
So how is he the individual?
Because Jesus is
not
God.
one, not
Wait,
one
wait,
verse
wait,
in the
wait, wait.
Bible does Jesus say that he wants anybody to start a new religion. Not one.
No, but he does say
Hold on,
that
y'all.
he
Hold on,
says
hold on,
no. I
hold
mean,
on.
like, again, my question is to public. I'm not talking to you, Jones.
Yeah,
But
let me
Jesus,
let me answer the question. Hold on, before we get there. God is misogynistic. The Abrahamic God is misogynistic. Jesus is God, so Jesus is misogynistic.
okay, explain
You
to
know
me
what I'm saying?
how. In his earthly incarnation, when he came to this planet, what did he do while he was alive for 33 years that was misogynistic?
I don't I don't know if it was so much what he did do, it's what he didn't do. You know what I'm saying? He did not say explicitly men and women are equal. He didn't say stuff like that. So by omission, what did he do? He didn't say shit. He didn't do nothing to stop it. So yeah, you could say, okay, he didn't do anything directly. He didn't, but the Bible, the book, right, that God wrote, allegedly, it was written in the spirit of God. That book says God God, man, woman, child, animals. It's a hierarchy. Does Jesus not believe in the
Jesus
Bible?
never said that, public. That's
know,
why I'm asking you, what did Jesus Christ, while he was on this planet, what did he
No,
do?
but Julio, listen to what I'm saying though, and this is why all these Abrahamic religions are weird, specifically Christianity, because in the Bible, because you wouldn't know anything about Jesus if you didn't read the Bible. So
That's not true. There are 19 sources outside of the scriptures that confirm the basic facts of his life. You can't. My question is, what did Jesus himself do?
Julio,
right?
Listen to what I'm saying.
Like,
I know other scriptures exist and I know other teachings exist. I'm telling you, you wouldn't know. I know that for a fact. You and me, black people in America, you and I would not know anything about
public. That's literally not true. There's no, see, this is the thing. And I'm asking you again, I'm going back to my original question. What did Jesus of Nazareth do while on this earth for 33 years?
It's what he didn't do. He answered that question.
I just told you, it's not about what you do. Like that's not to me, that's not sufficient, right? So if you could have stopped and prevented something from happening and you didn't, you could have spoke up about something and you didn't, then
Violence
you're
is
just
violent.
It's like, you know what I'm saying? Like what are we talking about? So you're asking the question wrong. The question to you is, what did he do? What did he do to stop misogyny? What did he do to stop the patriarchy?
Others as you would have them do unto you. As the verse that Mr. Jones loves to try to quote, even though he quotes out of context, as you've done it unto the least of these, you've done it unto me. He gave you a blueprint to how to live. That's what he did do. That's exactly what Jesus did. He provided a very solid blueprint for how people should live their lives. And chief among them, he said, love the Lord and love your neighbor as you love yourself. If people lived and applied those two principles and lived their life through that, you applying those principles at face value to the above everything else, I would argue that the world would be a much better place. The fact of the matter is, people they unalived Christ for that statement. And I think that, at face value, is there anything wrong with those two statements?
No, I don't. Like, once again, I don't think that those two statements in a vacuum are wrong. At all. I don't think that they're wrong. But the problem is that there's a difference between saying do unto others as you would have others do unto you and calling out systems of oppression, right? We can agree on that, right? Like, that's not enough. I'm just letting you know that's not far enough. Do unto others as you would have others do unto you. That you could apply that to the job. Like, what are we talking about? Specifically, when Jesus would get specific about stuff that mattered to him, I guess, apparently, but he wouldn't get specific about stuff that didn't matter to him. And that's what I'm saying. He obviously didn't care about the patriarchy. He obviously didn't care about misogyny. If that's all, listen to what I'm saying. He is a radical, right? He was Martin Luther King before Martin Luther King Jr. He was Malcolm X before Malcolm X. He was imagine Martin Luther King and Malcolm X not saying anything about race, not explicitly calling out the system of oppression of racism, right? Imagine that. Imagine him saying, do unto others as you would have others do unto you. And that be
or slavery.
All you got. Or slavery. Like, imagine that. Imagine that, like, that's your answer. It's like, well, he just said do unto others, and that's all he needed to say. Like, what? No, bro. Absolutely not. That's not enough. He didn't go far enough.
Never condemned slavery once.
He never condemned slavery. He did say you could beat your slaves, and yeah.
Jesus said that, really?
Did he not?
Yes.
He said you could beat your slaves.
All right, sure he did.
100%.
Okay.
So if we're going to cherry pick verses, then we need to cherry pick. You can cherry pick a lot of bad verses, and that's what we're saying. They're not saying that you can't cherry pick a verse and be like, those are some good words. We like those words. But if you're using the Bible as a whole to construct your life and your morals, then you have a lot of moral problems inside of your life. That's what we're saying. Like, there's a verse in it that says, wives, submit unto your own husbands, and as unto the Lord. For the husband is the head of the wife, even as Christ is the head of the church, and he is the Savior of the body. I'm reading that from King James Version right here.
The King James Bible, and what does that when Paul is making that statement? Christ loved the church so dearly that he did what for it? He gave his literal life for it. If husbands actually loved their wives enough to give their lives for them on a consistent basis, instead of misusing and mistreating women, I would actually argue that marriages would be better. Christ loved the church so well that the son of a gun that literally was paid 30 pieces of silver, he washed his feet a couple hours before he kills him. So I don't know that that's a, you know, if you take what Paul is saying in context, that's not a
Paulinian, bro. He's not a Christian. He's a Paulinian, bro. He's a Paulinian. He's not a Christian.
No, Mr. Jones, I'm a Christian. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I just think the thing that I don't like having this conversation about religion or about Christianity specifically is because to me there is no way for us to separate the fact that the Abrahamic gods are misogynistic. They're all whatever it is. If it's the same God, God is misogynistic. I can say a bunch of things about God. God is a murderer. God is an unaliver. God is a rapist. God is a molester. I can say a lot of things about God. That's in the book. That's in the Bible.
Manipulative, manipulation.
Hella manipulation, jealous, things that God has admitted himself about himself. You see what I'm saying? So I find it odd when people try to act like all of a sudden we just supposed to forget all of that and cherry pick 2 lines of Jesus saying, "Do unto others as you have others do unto you," and that's
there's a multiplicity of lines that I could use to demonstrate my point. But I mean, it's right to not to go down this religious rabbit hole.
Yeah,
I got a meet to jump to anyway. But I just wanted to get your thoughts on just kind of that in general. And you did answer the question that I first asked, which was what I wanted to come up and ask, which is what do we need to do, and what does that look like when that system actually comes together, where men in particular, since we're focusing on men, actually fully respect women as complete human beings, not things to be used, but rather people to be respected.
I don't think that, what I'm saying is that I don't think that the same thing with black people. I don't think the respect will come first and then the system will change. I don't think that. I think the system needs to change first and then the people, because it starts from the top down. So, you know what I mean? Like, so to your point, that's why I was correct in the statement of like women being fully autonomous. If women were fully autonomous, I think we would be forced to respect women. You see what I'm saying? Like the system.
When you because I'm looking at it from my perspective, because I know it's beginning around 1975 or 76 was when they could have their own bank accounts. The no contest divorce was legalized. What are they missing today that would make them fully autonomous beings? Is there anything from a legal perspective that they're missing, or
I mean, besides Roe v. Wade?
Absolutely.
But besides
the Roe v. Wade decision, like they lose their access to bodily autonomy, medical care, and medical privacy. So yes, there is laws that quite literally strip women of their autonomy. And even more so, if we were going to take it a step further, right? If we were going to talk about people in the queer community, if we were going to talk about, you know what I'm saying, like transgender women and so on and so forth, because women are women, right? Like there's tons of women in the United States are being stripped. Yes, they are.
Transgender women are not women.
Hold on, wait.
I'm not doing that. We're not having that conversation, brother. We're not doing that. We're not going down that rabbit hole, dog. We're not doing that.
I ain't trying to get my life
public, you answered my question, public. So
that's a wild statement.
No, I stand behind it. I stand
I'm
with
sure
Jordan
you
Peterson
stand by
on that.
it. That's a wild statement, bro.
Yeah, no, I stand on that.
Imagine being black and a bigot at the same time. That's crazy. Like
so it's a wild thing.
You don't know how biology works.
But anyway, I mean, you know, listen,
I just want to say, but what I was saying, Leo, to answer your question, women, it's not so much. It's the same argument that white people use against black people. You just use the same argument against women, right? You just said the same thing.
Exactly.
Like that statement.
Exactly.
What do black people? What do black people? What can't black people do that white people can do, right? And then it's like, okay, let's go beyond like laws on paper, because it's one thing for them to say, give a banks, you cannot discriminate on race. And there's another thing for banks to actually still actively discriminate on race, right? You see what I'm saying? Like that, like you can legislate that out, don't get me wrong. But the government doesn't want to do that. What the government does, the government creates what they call plausible deniability, right? The government sets up the laws in such a way that it's like, well, we told them not to do that. You see what I'm saying? We told them not to do that. We told them not to do that. But if they do it, it's almost impossible to prove that they did. It's almost impossible to prove that that's what they're doing. You see what I'm saying? So they don't really want to fix the problem. They don't really want to fix the problem, right? They don't want to fix the problem when it comes to hiring people. They don't want to fix the problem when it comes to college admissions. They don't want to fix the problem when it comes to over policing. Like the police are still in our neighborhoods, even though black people and white people do commit crimes at the same rate for the most part, but they're still in our communities 10 times more than they're in their communities. And there's no law on the books that says that that's illegal. That nobody says that that's illegal to do that, right? So do we have the freedom to move around without being harassed as black people? No, and it's proven on pay. It's beyond the law. It's proven in reality, and that's what I'm saying, Julio. That's why those types of questions are very disingenuous when you ask, like, well, women can drive now and they can have bank accounts now, so they're equal. Like, is it that, like, that just happened 50 years ago, by the way. Our black people ain't caught up, and we've been free for 140 something years, right? 140 years. We've been free, quote unquote, for 140 years. We still behind. Women for 50 years got a bank account, was able to drive, even though in 1990, whatever, you could still grape your wife, whatever. So
when I first started in the car business, like, we literally had to ask women if their husband, you know what I'm saying, or father, someone of that nature was available so they could get a car loan.
Jesus Christ. I didn't know that.
Of course he bounced.
Well, he said he was going to leave. But yeah, that's crazy. That's wild.